It's like J.G. Wentworth is inside me screaming for their money. It's my toilet! Use it when you need it!
You didn't go with, and I need it now?
That's one of their things on there. They have the people screaming in the commercials. It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Okay.
I wish people could see that facial expression you just gave us, because that was actually spot on.
I did see it.
You did?
Yeah.
That's the best part about a podcast is 4 people here will know what our facial expressions are, and then the rest of them have to assume.
Do you know what the actual best part of a podcast is?
4 best friends.
The intro.
That was a good segue.
That you've now ruined.
Hey everybody, I'm Dane Holland, and somehow Austin looks more hipster than me at the moment. It's purely because of the toboggan being on the back half of your head.
Front part gets warm. You can't have a warm forehead, not unless it's chilly outside. And I'm inside currently, and it's not chilly here. I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and I'm not chilly.
I am Marcus Whitaker. I am Electric Man, and I'm excited for this podcast today.
I was about to leave because I thought no one was excited.
I really did.
Oh, it's a full moon, and Halloween is tomorrow. Well, wait, technically, this comes out on Monday. Halloween was 2 days ago. Ooh.
We time traveled.
Oh, no.
I'm the rooster, and I'm going to dress up this year for Halloween.
As?
Oh, you have to see the pictures. Yeah, we can post them up.
Okay, that's fine.
I think we can.
We have some social medias that I'll talk about later that we can do that on. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Is it a confused biker with a lightsaber in his hand?
You'll never know.
Vroom.
Unless you see them.
Unless you see them. Then you will. Otherwise, never.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. You're a mystery shrouded within a mystery.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Me.
Not again.
We're not getting into that. What is this anyway?
Huh?
What are we doing?
What is
What
this?
are we doing?
Yeah.
What is what? I thought we were just going to hang out at this table.
Okay.
But I guess what we could do is a podcast called Nerd It Through the Grapevine, where 4 best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. I want to hear Marcus talk about stuff.
Please.
Well, okay.
Get it, Static Shock.
You said it. Y'all have been promising to do something for me that y'all haven't done.
I do that a lot, by the way, and I forget immediately after I say it.
It depends on what that promise is if I want to do that on air.
I agree.
Well, I guess we'll see. I am the type of nerd that gets so obsessed with whatever I'm nerding out on at that moment that I don't broaden my horizons as often as I should. And so sometimes I don't get to see certain things that everybody's raving about.
Okay.
So I need y'all to actually give me that list.
Edgar Allan Poe, like things people are raving about.
That was
I
actually
haven't seen
good.
that one either.
Thank you.
That was.
It was a little poetry joke for those.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And to add to the list for you, quote the Raven nevermore. That was a WCW wrestler.
That was.
Thank you. It really was.
Before we start talking about wrestling, what is your question?
No, that was it. You didn't hear him.
Y'all were supposed to prescribe me a list.
Yeah.
Of things that I need to watch.
Of things
and
that
we
you
can
need to get
even
into?
we can even
Yes.
prioritize this in like you've got to go. This has to be first. Like you got to see this before you see this.
Oh man,
You're going to get the 3 of us arguing over what needs to be first, though. Is that your
it's
goal?
episode 5.
Have you already seen all the Star Wars movies?
I have seen all but the final number 9.
really?
You need to watch number 9.
Like that's number 1.
So number 1.
No, it's number 9.
Number
Why are
9.
we getting so confused on numbers right now?
He's lost.
No, you need to watch that just so you can complete the arc. I wouldn't recommend getting.
Well, it's
into
not
it.
like I expected that I would never see it.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those people that kind of did get jaded with the Disney version. But, I can't be holding a grudge my whole life. I at least need to see it.
Yeah.
Watch it
So
one
is
time.
that the first one?
It would be on the list. Let's see. If you're thinking of good nerd material,
I'm trying to think.
Are you talking just movie-wise right now or TV shows?
Yeah.
As-
Just things that
or
are like,
anything.
yeah.
As far as you not seeing it yet and all this time has gone by, I think you have such a preconceived notion that movie is not going to beat out that preconceived notion.
I think it's more of,
Or maybe enough time has passed to where you
Yeah,
just
exactly.
kind of reset. Like
Yeah.
the hype is over.
I've healed.
So you've
I've
healed, you
They
reset.
hurt me.
Now you have an
I've
open
healed.
mind. Okay.
exactly. And I can take it for what it is
Right, 'cause I-
instead of what I wish it would may be. But I still don't think I'm one of those people, because I've heard that criticism a lot. It's like, oh, well, it didn't do what you wanted it to do.
Right.
So you didn't like it. But I don't think that's valid.
Okay.
In my case, I think maybe some people are like that.
Okay.
I just think I'm just one of those that didn't care for it as much.
Because he and I could spend a whole hour, you too. Like, we could spend a whole hour defending the series.
Right, right.
I know we could.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in it that I can understand the validity of the complaints, but validity of the complaints does not erase.
No, you don't get to say that phrase twice, making up for the first one. where
Yeah,
you
No, I
stumbled,
said
kinda.
validity the
No,
first
you
time.
did
No,
good the first one.
did.
It just slowed down a little halfway through it, but
Yeah.
you did it, and you
did it.
didn't make a mistake. But you said it the second time quickly to show everyone else that you could.
I've doo-dooed
We know
7
it.
times today. The fact that I'm able to speak to you right now,
I'm surprised some of your
is-
brain's still left.
I honestly, at the shop today, I lost count of how many times I forgot what liquids we had on the shelf. I'm an encyclopedia of the knowledge of that place, but I forgot what liquids people were even asking for.
Because you were too busy counting the liquids coming out of you.
No, I was drained. I was drained emotionally as
That's
well.
what I'm saying. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of liquid, Lake Placid. Watch it.
Why?
I thought you were
in
saying go
the
there.
Hell would on the top of your lists for things to tell him to watch. You want him to watch Lake Placid.
I honestly may have seen that one. What is that, like a big alligator?
Oh, yeah.
I think I might have seen that. a long
Okay,
time
now
ago.
Chomp, chomp.
Now take that into consideration when you listen to anything else that Rooster wants you to do. I want you to watch New Girl.
New Girl. Okay. Well, I figured you would say Shazam.
No,
Not my thing.
no, I'm just not gonna hope that you watch Shazam. You know, it's a movie about me. It's a really
It's a documentary, as the rooster would say.
Thank you.
yeah. And honestly, I think you would enjoy it, but I'd rather you watch New Girl just because it is super entertaining, and I make a lot of New Girl references just in everyday conversation, and I need you to be there for me.
Oh, that's interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah. Into the Spider-Verse?
I've seen that actually.
You have seen
Oh,
Into
I
the
did see
Spider-Verse.
that.
That's
Yeah.
a
Shoot.
movie.
It's a good recommendation, though.
Shoot.
I've seen that one.
Awful
Have you seen
soundtrack.
Spider-Man
Wait,
2?
hold on. He has to redact that. Retract?
No, redact.
No, wait.
React.
Yeah, okay.
Reenact it.
I can
Reenact it
retract
first.
the statement so we can redact it from the records.
Reenact it
Yes.
first.
Okay, we'll just rewind. It's got an awful soundtrack to it, but I'm just kidding. It's
No.
really a
It's
good
so
movie
good.
all around. It's one of the best.
Sucker Punch.
I liked Sucker Punch a lot.
I feel like I've seen
It's
that.
such a mediocre thing.
That's what I'm saying. I want the good stuff, yeah. I want like the ones that are
I think
close to your heart.
Sucker Punch is good in the right state of mind. You know, really relaxed, so you can get really hyped to watch.
okay.
Sucker
I love getting hyped. to
See how
watch a
high his
movie.
eyebrows got at you right there?
Yeah, you raised them
I
up
mean,
pretty good.
Pretty elevated up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah,
I think
bucket list.
you've tried and you started, but I need you to do it more, and that is get into the works of Neil Gaiman.
I did try.
I think he has worlds you would really enjoy. They're not as high. They're not high fantasy like you're used to. So you
But-
may end up being bored, but at the same time, it's nice to have a mix-up because you don't have an over-flooded amount of information going into your head about a whole
Right.
new world. So
It's
I think,
easier to like pick up and have fun with.
right.
Yeah. Well, I've actually been reading Jim Butcher, the Dresden Files, which is I've been really enjoying that. So I think I'm about ready for some Gaiman because I read a Neil Gaiman book for school at one point. It was I think it was more of a young adult one. It's like Anansi. How do you say that
the
word?
Anansi Boys?
Yeah.
That's not very young adult. There's some
Yeah.
pretty adult
And
themes
so
in
that's
that.
where like I actually learned to respect Gaiman, and
Yeah.
I actually really do like his style.
Didn't he write The Giver?
No, who did write that? I can't think of it. Right now.
Somebody's gonna know, and they're gonna be mad we don't.
I know.
Not him.
I bet it'll be tiny.
The Anansi Boys, like Anansi in that is in American Gods. He's like a big
Cool.
like focal point in that of one of the new gods, or actually one of the old gods, in that book. And he is a
Yeah, because what kind of god was he?
He was a spider. He's
Like, was it more of like a
rebellion and kind of
But like what culture?
like African nature from that.
Cool.
So, because in the show American Gods that they did, which is a really good show too, they elaborate on some things that aren't elaborated in the book, but it works for the show. But I think the way, like most book to TV shows or movie things go, the book, it's well worth a read. It's pretty thick, but it's
I got
well
about
worth
halfway
it.
through it.
Yeah, I need you to finish that.
I need to start it over,
and
though.
then there's plenty more that you could read, because he's also got things like Coraline, which is a fantastic claymation animated movie.
Very good movie.
Very
actually.
good movie.
I like that.
Which a lot of people know Coraline, but not many people know Gaiman. Like beyond that,
Yeah. Well, he's got a TV show now, don't he?
Never watched it.
Bad Omens or something like that?
Good Omens.
Good Omens.
Good Omens. Another fantastic book. He wrote it with the late Terry Pratchett.
Yes.
Who has the Discworld series, which is his entire wacky wizard magic universe. It's crazy. But he and Neil were
A lot of comedy.
very close friends. Yeah. So when you read Good Omens, you can if you read enough of both of their works, you can kind of see the parts where each of them are writing it. But they do it so seamlessly that it's like the ultimate collaboration that I've ever read. So, he's got so many works.
So you wouldn't even suggest, you would just go straight to Gaiman for me, huh?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely put that up top.
That makes me feel good.
I have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. That's mine. That's my number one.
It's no Lake Placid.
no.
I'm just telling you guys.
Hey,
I was
or The
seeing it the other
Giver.
day
I
on TV.
There's something very fundamentally human about wanting to watch people get ripped up by a giant alligator.
Did you watch Sharknado? Because it's like that. It's very entertainingly bad.
Have you ever seen The Human Centipede 3?
Oh
No,
my!
I've seen
why
one.
did it exist?
Why are we talking about?
Because there's three parts to a centipede.
Now, Human Centipede 2 was like,
Hold on.
huh?
Hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
Are we in trouble?
Huh? No,
we in
no,
trouble?
no, you're fine.
No.
Okay,
No, we crossed the line. Again.
we broke
Damn
the-
it.
You guys think I was like
Yeah.
dad mode on
Yeah.
you? No.
Y'all cannot talk about such smut on the podcast.
Yeah. That's what I thought
it's
too.
not smut. It's
Well,
it's not at all.
That guy would not stop shouting the
Yeah,
entire
there's three
movie.
humans.
No.
You've
Why
never
did he
seen it.
shout?
That's the problem.
Why did somebody need
understand.
to sew the mouths to buttholes of people? Like, I don't.
Although there are some people that come to mind that I think would probably need their mouths sewed to buttholes. I'm not going to name any, but
I wonder
there's plenty.
But
who's
there's a
on
stable.
that list.
You're good at making those kind of lists.
I know what we
I'm
could
a list
cosplay
maker.
at.
oh,
as-
no.
The human. All right. Coming up.
Mess that up.
And that's the end of my topic.
Rooster, what would you suggest? Because,
Yeah, I need 3 good ones at least. Come on.
I gave you a great
You
one.
did. And I, obviously the Star Wars.
I want to spend a topic of an episode talking about gaming, so that's kind of like an intro.
That's a
kinda
good-
to
Introducing the
whole thing.
idea of gaming.
Yes.
Are you? Is book series okay? Like everything's on the table for
Yeah,
everything?
I guess I was envisioning movies because the joke is I haven't seen anything.
Movies or TV shows then,
but
as well.
I'm so ready for some book suggestions.
He's ready for you. You got one book suggestion.
No, nobody give him more book suggestions.
No more.
Then I won't ever watch the shows. I was
What? Then,
See,
You're
he gets
stalling.
it. He gets
You're
it.
stalling. Name something.
Trying to burst out of my
I'm
shell.
doing good.
He's helping him stall. Do not
Now,
let this happen.
I'm trying to think of one. I really am. I'm trying to think of something you haven't seen that you would actually be interested in that I think you would sit down and watch.
any movie. Pick a movie, any
Yeah.
movie.
It's not that I'm opposed to watching these
the
movies.
Count
It's just,
of
it's just I
Monte
wouldn't do it
Cristo.
out of my own will. Maybe.
No, you never seen it.
No.
Is that some more?
You really have it.
No.
The
The Man in the Iron Mask.
That's the cast of
I've seen The Man in the
Monkey
Iron
Iago
Mask.
You've
that
seen
you're
it?
thinking of.
I just feel like for all
I feel
the
like
nerd things
of
that
all-
we enjoy, of
what I'm
him
saying.
saying specifically, I want something at the top of that list, something
Yeah.
Man,
quality,
well,
something
everything
golden.
that I can think of.
Basically, I want y'all to come up with my next 12 topics.
You say the Count of Monte Cristo?
Yeah,
Monte
that's a
Cristo.
Really?
So the movie about the origins of the sandwich.
Yes. If you've never had it.
The sandwich? You're asking
Both.
me if I've ever had that sandwich.
Yeah. Well, it's true. How do you only see the movies that I suggest right now?
Yeah.
The other one I could suggest.
Yeah,
I've
any
seen
other
already-
podcast, all y'all can do is name movies that I've never
That's
seen.
what I'm thinking. It's like
Hey, it could
every
be
other
TV
time
shows
I can
too.
name
I'm surprised
everything.
Dragon Ball Z didn't come up.
I didn't watch.
I'm not
Did
gonna-
you ever watch
anime came
Digimon?
up.
There, Digimon. Did you ever watch Digimon?
This
I
is
never
a
did
good
watch
one.
There you go.
Digimon.
Only the first season.
Yeah, Digimon Adventure. That's the.
There you go.
Now they continue Digimon Adventure in Digimon Adventure Try.
Don't do that.
Oh, you need to do that.
Don't do it.
It's the most modern iteration of it, and that makes them a
No.
more adult age, so they grow up. It's really cool.
Watch them as kids. Ah, shit.
I'm glad the torch has been passed to Rooster from Dane.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Yeah, Digimon.
Digimon's well worth it.
When you watch,
Is that
when
basically just Pokemon, but in the digital world?
it's better.
It's better.
And you realize, man, Digimon should have been more popular than Pokemon.
They
But
just didn't have as good of a marketing campaign
Yeah, the marketing
for
wasn't
being
as good.
on
The card
everything.
game was nowhere near as easy.
The only thing that the card
No one
game is
knows how
good
to play
for
the card game.
is hiding cards in random shoes and finding them.
The foils looked awesome.
Yeah. Metal
I would
Greymon.
also collect the cards. That'd be the other thing I suggest.
Yeah.
yeah,
Collect the cards.
Oh,
Just the
Get
game.
into hoarding small pieces of cardboard with pictures on them that are that cost money.
Yeah.
Sometimes a substantial amount of money.
Digital creatures.
And the way you need to save them is to get a cork board and pin them to it.
Or put them on
I
your
have a
bike.
corkboard.
Either one.
Do you have pins?
I do,
Oh, okay.
but they're there to hold up all my secret RPG stories.
You know,
With
if
the
I,
red strings going from one thing to another.
if I had to give you an anime to watch, just so you can get a soft
Yeah.
intro into an anime that's got a decent story to it.
Yes,
I think
decent story.
Soft intro into anime. Watch Sword Art Online.
Sword
I agree
Art
with
Online.
that, actually.
It's got a good
I agree.
story to it. It's got a little romance. It's got some action. It's got some otherworldly. I think that you'd enjoy it. It's very high fantasy as well.
Nice.
I enjoyed it.
That's a
I
good
don't
way to get
remember
me to
everything
watch
about
it.
it. But
Actually,
it was good.
I disagree.
Yeah.
He's never seen
Of
it.
course you do, because you
He's
passed
never
one
seen it.
torch to Rooster. He passed the torch to you to disagree with me.
Thank you.
Sword Art Online is good, but it's no like Samurai Champloo or Cowboy Bebop or even something like Trigun, things like that.
I
Those-
was trying to include something that could include his high fantasy. I mean, Cowboy Bebop's a good thing for like space pirates.
You Space Cowboy, you
You
know
like
that,
Space
right?
Cowboys? That's a movie you should also watch. Space Cowboy.
God,
Oh,
who
I
was
thought
in
you were
that
gonna say
movie?
Firefly.
Oh.
Who?
That movie you just named. There was like a lot of like
Clint Eastwood,
Clint Eastwood.
Tommy Lee Jones. That's all I can
Star-studded
remember.
cast.
well, two of my heroes.
So are you gonna do any of these things? You've wanted us to make us a list. We've given you a list.
I'm gonna do my homework.
Yeah?
one are you
My
gonna do
homework.
first?
Okay.
I'm gonna earn my stay. I'm
Okay.
gonna do it.
Yeah, which one are you gonna do first?
Looked at me so lovingly.
I'm proud of him.
I don't know.
He's gonna
I
go
need to
home.
get into some anime. I think
Digimon.
I'm too much of a nerd to not have ever dabbled in that world. I
Yeah,
think.
I agree.
Digimon's
Also-
like 18 minutes an episode. Just throwing it out there.
What we're currently doing on the other thing that happens, you'd like Sword Art Online.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Inspire me, y'all. Mm-hmm. Inspire me.
What now?
I guess I could talk about something since Rooster's scared.
Do that. He does have fear in his eyes, especially right now since you called him out on it. We'll give him time to calm down.
He was shocked and appalled. I learned a secret about my Hello Kitty notebook. If you leave the ribbon where you say you leave the ribbon, you can open the book right to your page.
Ooh, that was flawless.
And
Rooster's making notes over here.
the page that I turn to
Ribbons.
has 4 words atop it. The Magic School Bus.
Oh gosh.
Here we go.
Whoa! Right on the
That's
Magic
Mario.
School Bus. First published as a book by Scholastic in 1986, they came out with Waterworks, which was them shrinking down, going into the pipes, and exploring what the plumbing system did. So, cool. Waterworks. There were several different books in the series that revolved around Miss Frizz and her students. Miss Frizz had a school bus that, like the titular character proclaims,
There we go. That's it.
It was titleless. Continue.
I don't golf.
It's a golf reference.
Was it?
I don't golf.
Titular?
Titular.
No, I'm pretty sure it's titular.
There are females that listen to this.
You
Why would
can't
you?
say.
We
beep
have them
out,
too.
Beep it out.
They're just smaller.
In some cases.
Speak for yourself.
I'm saying.
She had a school bus that transformed into things. And I got to thinking about this the other day because I'm always in those deep cuts from your childhood that, you haven't thought about in a long time.
Gosh.
And my childhood kind of revolved around the magic school bus. I learned that air didn't exist in space, and due to the lack of oxygen in your blood and skin and everything, that it would drop your body temperature down drastically and you would freeze from the magic school bus.
Yeah, I found my wooziness of the innards of the human body. I found that with that show because when they started going in the bloodstream and like the body episode where they go into the body and
That's
move
the
around
one
everything.
that sticks out in my mind
Yeah,
too.
but
That's weird.
that's where I first realized like I can't handle this kind of stuff.
I loved it. I thought it
Like
was awesome.
even biology class, everything like anatomy. I just sit there and I get woozy when they start talking about certain stuff. Like, and I can't stop it. I cannot
because
stop
you
it
sit
from
there and think
happening.
about how you're just one big sack of meat and guts.
Yeah.
And
We're-
that freaks you out.
We're
Yeah.
basically water inside of a meat skin. Like we're
awesome.
we're just
I don't
giant
like-
balloons.
I don't like
That's all
it.
we are. It's
Yeah,
scary to think.
It's not a pleasant thought.
It's like with shots. Like I'm not afraid of shots; they don't hurt. But being injected with something and seeing the magic school bus go into my bloodstream,
So that's what you're scared of shots for now.
you don't know where she is. You don't know what Miss Frizz
She's
is up
crazy.
to.
Did you check that shot for
Those
the
kids
Frizz?
have grown up now. They've probably got their own school buses.
What if there's
I'm
multiple
imagining
school buses?
An entire like Transformer universe that involves all these kids with school buses. And
Terrifying.
like Miss Frizz had the original, and like there's all this stuff that could go on going into my body.
I thought it's
Get vaccinated, by the way.
Yeah, at the same time too, with them all getting older, that have like in-depth journeys into how chlamydia works.
No.
No, for
Oh,
real.
now you mean now?
Yeah, what's
Oh,
going on
okay,
with
them
what's
now.
going on with
That
Arnold?
was- yeah.
Well, this is going to be a whole lot harder. I'm not getting into those stats. Arnold, though, Arnold was my favorite character on there. He was the Jewish kid, and it's just obvious because his last name is Perelstein, and I also drew a star next to his name just so I'd remember that it was pronounced like a Jewish name.
Okay. They did have a lot of inclusion in that show.
They did. I think you had black students, white students, Asian students. The only thing they didn't explore was like Muslim students, like Middle Eastern. I don't think there was a Middle Eastern student. There might have been a Mexican slash.
I'm trying to remember because they were in
Latina.
the window,
Latin-
right? You'd see them in the
Latinas.
windows. Is that right? When the bus was driving, you'd see the kids in the window.
Oh,
You
so
see
they
the
weren't.
kid through the whole episode.
So
Yeah, but I
they're-
mean, like,
The kids are in. Their kids
I'm
are in
imagining them in the windows waving right now. And I'm trying to see like what kids are there.
I'm imagining
you okay?
thinking that these episodes were just Miss Frizz and the kids just were only shown from outside the school bus.
She's
And
teaching the
just-
whole time, and they
yeah.
are silent.
She's just talking to the viewer.
And the publication time for this being on television really was not that long for as much as it was in my childhood, because they marketed the crap out of educational tools featuring the Magic School Bus. I mean, all the way up to, like the late 90s, I can remember playing different games on the computer. One of them was let me think, it was a dinosaur game where you traveled back in time in the Magic School Bus, and you were capable of going to the different periods of dinosaur evolution, like the Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic, all those different ones, and you're able to learn about what time frames they consisted in. So it was fairly easy to kind of get into the game and beat dinosaurs and kids. Kids and dinosaurs, they connect. And this show won Emmys.
What?
Dude, it was awesome.
Did it really?
3 years running. It ran. It won,
Voice acting?
for. Let me read. It won. Nope, an Emmy. I forgot to write down what for. It was. It was like the lesser of the Emmys. It was the daytime Emmys. So
Hey, an Emmy's an Emmy, man. Doesn't matter.
Emmy
You still got
Rossum's
the-
on
you still got the
Shameless.
trophy. Yeah.
So yeah, but from 1995 through 1997, they won an Emmy. And also, I never knew who did the theme song to it, but I can remember the theme song with a "Right on the Magic School Bus."
Leonard Skinner.
Close.
Yeah, probably.
Little
That'd
Richard.
be my guess.
Little Richard.
Little Richard.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
He really did that
Yep.
theme song?
No joke.
Wow.
Yep.
That's great. This
Really?
is PBS, right?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yep,
already?
PBS.
Okay.
Huh.
And that's, just like Bob Ross and the stuff that Dane had talked about before with Bob Ross. That's another PBS show that had so much influence long after the show was gone. And kids now still know about the Magic School Bus. And it's not been on the television, at least in the original form. They might have had some other little tidbits of it come out in different variations, but the original one, that.
We should reboot it.
That's
Need a
us.
reboot.
Live action.
I'll be one of
with
the
us.
kids.
Saying we.
Yeah,
live
I'll be
action
one of the
today.
kids. Dibs.
A live action Magic School Bus.
I just want to be a
I
janitor.
feel like at some
in
point
the
they were
school.
talking about doing that.
Oh my god.
A live action one?
Yeah.
That'd be
It'd
creepy.
be cool to watch a play of it. And like somebody's on stage getting a shot.
Was Reading Rainbow
that'd be
also
weird.
PBS?
Yeah,
You
I
could be
believe
that
so.
person.
PBS had everything that,
I bet
Reading Rainbow, man.
like Arthur.
Yeah.
Arthur was.
Who was the
I think
actor? He
that
was
Dragon Tales. Lamar Burton.
Yes. From Star Trek.
Is it Lamar or LeVar?
LeVar with a
yeah.
V.
Yeah, because there was somebody that's going to smack me in person for hearing
Probably.
me mispronounce that man's name.
Probably.
Every other person. you meet.
LeVar.
Yeah, dude.
I
PBS.
just
That
knew
was
him
a
with
good time.
as the dope sunglasses
Good job,
guy.
PBS.
That dinosaur game you were talking about, was that a point and click, one of those like you just there are certain things on the screen you can click on and it leads you to different places, like there wasn't really any like
Yeah.
quote unquote gameplay
Yeah.
as a point, because I had one like that for Arthur that I played so much, and I think we also ended up with one for Franklin the turtle.
The turtle.
Remember Franklin the
I had a
turtle?
Franklin game too.
Yeah.
And they
were-
had
they
a
were
lot
so
of
simple.
read-alongs. Well, a lot
Yeah.
of read-alongs with it.
Oh yeah.
And they counted as points if I did those for class.
AR points?
Accelerated reading.
Yeah, I was about
Sorry.
to say.
Not augmented reality
I was-
points.
I
I've been
was trying.
texting
Which,
too long.
I mean, now
forgot.
we can have
I
that.
was- Yeah.
Wait, you've been texting this whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we ready to start?
The accelerated reading program also got me to read the Berenstain Bears. Steen, not Stain.
Stein.
Covered that? No.
No. He did that. He did one.
Yeah.
That's the.
R.L. Stein. Goosebumps.
Too spooky for me, especially around Halloween. Let's not talk about that. That's way too spooky. We should have made a spooky theme. Nah, Halloween would already be over by the time this comes out.
Yeah. No one would
Everybody's over
appreciate
it. Everybody's already on to Christmas.
We could do like
Thanksgiving
a
doesn't
very
exist.
end, like a 3-minute, like Halloween thing for
Like
3 minutes.
spooktastic.
Probably.
Christmas isn't happening this year.
Huh?
Oh,
It's
over?
2020. Yeah, they canceled
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Christmas is canceled.
They,
Okay.
they actually do have certain states that are giving family guidelines to what they should and should not do at Christmas, so that's pretty cool. I think about, I mean, it's just, okay, not cool, bad word, but it's insane.
I thought you
how
were being
that is.
sarcastic.
Yeah, it was, but it might not have came off as sarcastic.
I got
It
you.
might have came off as like, wow, that's cool, man.
I think it's fair to say, please don't get 45 of your closest family members into the same roof, please. Because then that would've been
Unless-
really bad.
I'm okay with that, with just in general, like COVID be damned. I'm okay with just not having 45 people in my house
yeah,
at all.
I thought you were.
Oh,
I thought you were arguing for that. I
He
was like,
almost flipped the table.
So-
Yeah. I was like, hold on.
His table almost got flipped.
Why would I argue for COVID?
No. I just okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I thought you were throwing me a curveball
Hey,
there.
the world's
be
a crazy
honest,
place.
I was getting ready to knock it
this
out of
is
the park.
2020.
I've doo-dooed 7 times today, and I'll tell you, it was hot.
No.
I think that.
Nope.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to
That's
fecal garbage.
Yeah, he did it.
Oh, and there was one little other note that I wanted to mention, just because it's another throwback television show I used to watch all the time off of Nickelodeon. Had these 2 redheaded boys in it that were brothers that got into
Pete
also.
and Pete.
Yes, sir.
Nailed it.
With the voice of my favorite character, Arnold, Danny Timberelli.
Danny Timberelli voiced Arnold from
Pete and
Magic
Pete.
School Bus.
Yes,
and he was on Pete and Pete.
he was the younger brother.
He was
he
Pete.
he was-
I never watched Pete and Pete.
No?
oh man, the episode.
Oh, I just lied to you.
Yep.
I did watch it. It just now like
Tell him
okay.
the joke.
It still hasn't happened to me. I'm
Tell
still.
him the joke.
There is no joke.
Pete.
Oh my gosh!
No,
if
we're
Pete
not-
and Repeat were sitting on a fence and
no.
Pete fell off, who'd be left?
Repeat.
If Pete and Repeat, no, we're
Please
not doing it.
don't.
We just did it though.
We had to get it out. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
I had to get
Pete
that
and
one
Pete. That was the first experience I got with being grossed out by something I saw, because they had a candy they would eat on there, and that candy was something they got from the dentist that would expose spots in your teeth that had too much plaque buildup. So
What?
it was showing them like munching on this candy and having like this dark red smear over certain parts of their teeth that it would stick to. So it made the dentist's job easier to clean off the plaque. It was
I wonder
pretty
if that
daggone-
became a real thing.
I don't know. And they also had one episode where they had a piece of presidential. It was like a president's like face or something like that stuck up their nose. It was like a piece of cereal or something they thought would fit up there, and it got like lodged in one of their noses.
What show are we talking about?
Pete and Pete.
Pete and repeat.
We're sitting on a fence, and Pete fell off.
That sounds familiar, and I see images in my head when you say
Yeah, it's
that.
like it's a blue presidential face that they got stuck up their nose as some kind of candy or cereal
Like
piece.
a Captain Crunch.
Like
Oops,
a
all berries.
almost like a crunch berry thing. Oh gosh, look at the wheels turning.
Yeah.
I just
No, he thought of crunch berries too. That's what happened.
it actually sounded like somebody's tire had a belt squeaking. So car had a belt squeaking.
Rocco's Modern Life made me throw up once.
What, really? How so?
So Rocco has a grandmother.
You already got me. My mouth is already.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I've got that numb feeling
She
already in my
couldn't
lips.
chew her food.
I could
So
feel
they
it.
chewed it for her and spit it in her mouth, and they were showing this, and I threw up. I don't know why. The animation was just so
So good.
perfect
It
to
was
where
so
my little
good.
me threw up.
I remember the Filbert, the turtle off of that, was teaching them the appropriate way to read a magazine at the library. And you turn the page, you wash your hands. Then you turn the page, then you wash your hands. And he went on and on.
That little stretch of shows when Rocco came out, like Ren and Stimpy
Those are
have been
some
around for a
messed
little while
up
too.
people.
But
Toast man.
yeah, just that style of animation.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it was weird. And then the newer model of that is things like SpongeBob, which is also super weird and strange and like, okay, what are these guys on whenever they write this stuff? But the style of animation is not like, I don't think there's anything that could happen in that style of animation that would make you have that kind of like reaction,
Right.
as opposed to that kind
Not
of
near
just,
that graphic.
It's not, yeah, but it's not as sketchy either because that old style, like things look chunky.
Like,
Like,
it looked
It
gritty.
looked chunky. When they were spitting it in her mouth, I was
Yeah.
just like,
Was it
gross.
green or brown?
I think it was purple, but I don't remember.
Ooh,
Eggplant.
it's even better.
All
Yeah,
Real
probably.
Monsters was around that time too.
Yeah,
with a lot of gross
That
stuff.
was a good show.
Like you had Crumb that could take his eyeballs off.
Didn't
of
we
his
talk about
hands.
this once on the podcast?
No.
I don't
Probably.
Not
Do you
this
remember
show.
Talking
anything we
about
talk
a
about on
lot.
this podcast? Because I
Sometimes.
honestly forget right as soon as we're done.
Sometimes. Pretty sure we've
I don't
talked
even
about all
remember your
real
topic.
monsters.
Still.
What's your name?
Oh no. You broke him. You broke him. Interesting.
That was.
I did
just-
not know.
Yeah, Magic School Bus.
Magic.
I want to know
Respect.
the Emmy now.
And respect to PBS for putting on not only that show, but the other show you talked about, and Reading Rainbow
Yeah.
when
and,
I was a kid and inspiring me.
And Bob Ross.
and the Book of Virtue.
And they still, I'm not familiar with it, which I think PBS still airs things like that, like the old episodes of those, because they're so effective. Like they work so well. And I don't think they make many, but then again, I may be completely wrong, but
No,
I don't
you're right.
think they make a whole lot of new content because they don't have to. Because by the time those kids grow up, there's a whole new wave of kids still that age, and it's constantly like good for that age of kid because you outgrow it at some point and you move on. So you don't really have to make new things to keep up with the times because it's already effective. You know that. So they could just keep doing reruns of this stuff, keep growing these kids' minds. Like it's super cool.
Some
And
people should tell that to the Power Rangers franchise.
then, yeah. Well, we wanted to grow with that too, so that's partly our fault.
I just want it to be. I don't know. I need that. I need it. I need.
I think it's a good argument with the kids though. It's like, what's the best Power Rangers? And we're like original, and they're like, no,
Obviously.
Dino Thunder.
What?
And we're like,
Well, I could side with Dino Thunder a little bit because Tommy Oliver was in there as the Black Ranger. Sorry.
you no, you.
He was
tell
also
him.
Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Red Ranger.
Someone tell him.
No,
You're
I'm
not,
not going
tell
to.
him?
No.
So you're Mighty Morphin. That's
Hang
your
on,
choice.
hang on.
Absolutely.
Mighty
Hang on.
Morphin. I love Mighty
See,
Morphin.
he's going to tell him.
Sammy
Tell him.
Hagar had a theme song in the movie.
Sammy Hagar. Tell him.
Yeah, you broke him.
Get him.
At the end of the Power Rangers movie, Sammy Hagar had a song with Van Halen called Dreams.
Van Halen did. While I agree that Mighty Morphin is the best, I also disagree with myself because we have way too much of a bias on that, because the graphics of the show, probably the choreography of it, probably the acting, probably the storylines have gotten so much better than back then. It's probably phenomenal now. But we wouldn't know. Like, I can't say ours is the best when I haven't experienced all of them. But personally, yeah, it's my favorite because it's the one that I mainly watch. But
Then you can say
I can't be
it's the
delusional
best.
when it comes to.
You
No,
can't.
I can't.
Well, it's
Yeah,
the
I can't.
classic.
You can ask me
it's-
what my favorite one is, but I can't say it's the best.
But if the majority agree with it, then it is.
the majority at this table,
In general, in any conversation.
That'd be something to actually put to the polls.
Can we put that to the polls?
you're the one that puts things to the polls.
Let's
He's
put
the
this
one
to
that
the
goes
polls,
out and
okay?
like, does the work.
Can we do this?
He does the
Okay.
hard
I
work.
want to know that if the majority agree, is it correct? That's what I want to know.
Is Mighty Morphin better than the others?
Yeah.
All of the others.
And that's not to discredit the work of the actors and the crew on the rest
Let's
of the shows.
discredit them.
You're
I feel like
asking-
we should.
You're never going to catch lightning in a
You're
bottle
asking-
like that twice.
If the majority of people agree on something that's subjective, it makes it objective.
Yeah, I want that on the polls.
That's not.
That's not what.
No,
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
that's a poll question for sure.
It
Because if the majority agree with me, imagine the irony.
That's like asking. that's like asking what bear is the best bear. You're not. It's subjective. There are several schools of thought.
Are you talking about The Office right now?
No.
I just brief.
No.
Just a brief mention.
That was a
Let's
new
talk
girl.
about something else.
I'm sorry. We
Can-
rabbit holed really well.
I
on
know,
that one.
we
And
gotta
Can
ring it
Marcus
back
and I
in.
talk for a little while?
Yeah, you guys go for it. I'll hang back.
No. Marcus,
Yes.
you should watch The Fountain.
I have seen The Fountain.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it?
It's literally one of my favorite movies
Do you
of all time.
What do you think it's about, though? Do you struggle with that?
Well, I don't necessarily struggle with what it's about. I struggle with like what exactly happens at the end.
Which storyline do you think is the correct one?
Hold on. Can you
Yeah,
can
I
you
think-
explain it for our listeners?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
It's a
give
movie
at least a
and
basic
Shazam.
explanation of it?
And Shazam, who hasn't
Well,
seen
the
it.
the filmmaker is Darren Aronofsky. He's actually one of my favorite filmmakers. He made Mother as well. He was the filmmaker behind Mother.
Seen that one.
Black Swan, which won Oscars.
I need to watch that one.
It's a good one.
He also did that weird Noah movie with Russell Crowe.
I watched it.
I actually kind of liked it.
I had to know.
I mean, it was definitely like a high fantasy take on those Bible stories.
The Watchers.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Bible never said that there weren't rock people that lived in the ground.
Right.
No, it
It
doesn't.
didn't.
It doesn't.
But
at all.
anyway, I appreciated the really awesome take on
Yeah.
those stories. But anyway, we're talking about The Fountain.
Correct.
But anyway, he's one of my favorite filmmakers. So every time he puts out something, I'm like, all right, I'll go to the theater to see that. No doubt. Because I just know that I'm going to get something good.
Have we avoided my question
Yes.
Yes.
on purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we haven't. The
No,
Fountain
well, it
is a
makes
movie.
sense because it's a crazy movie. So
And I don't know any of the characters' names because that doesn't matter.
I forget. It's Hugh Jackman and
It's Hugh Jackman.
Rachel Weisz.
I don't know
Weisz?
the lady, but she's really good.
W-E-I-S or Z. One
Anyway,
Weisz.
so he's like a
Weisz.
scientist and he's studying science to
He's studying
like they
cancer.
do.
He's studying the effects of cancer on monkeys.
he's
Like
trying
they're-
to save her.
they're-
She's
yeah.
his woman. He loves her. They're in love.
She
She's
has
dying,
some unknown form of cancer that's
but
killing her.
she has accepted it. She's
Yes.
accepted her fate, and she wants him to like kind of let go and enjoy her final days with her. But he
And-
just can't. He's so obsessed with curing her, and the line that sticks out to me is, "Death is a disease. We can cure it." You know, it's like
Yes.
he won't. He's not ready to accept it, and so the whole story is just accepting the grim reality of
there's,
death. And
There's
it's
three
beautiful.
different storylines in it, though. So you have
But
what-
all acted by the
the
same,
same
two
people.
actors.
Yes,
playing different roles.
yes.
Yeah,
So like Hugh
essentially,
Jackman.
in a way.
Hugh Jackman. See, this is where it gets
strange.
really confusing. So
Hopefully executed better than Cloud Atlas.
Yes, much better, much better.
That
That's-
movie made me.
I'm
just-
actually insulted you brought that movie up.
Hey,
To be honest.
Hey, sometimes bad things need to be dug up.
Yeah. Well, debatable.
Everything with you
Put
is
that to the
debatable.
polls.
Is it okay to dig up things that are bad?
No. He has three roles. He's a scientist in like the main story arc.
In like modern day
Okay.
America.
And in that story arc, she's writing a book that she wants him to finish.
When she's gone.
And it's about like the Fountain of Youth, I believe, right?
Yep.
And so the book is about, or at least we think, the book is about Hugh Jackman's character, like as a 16th century conquistador, and he's traveling through this jungle, and he meets this like crazy tribe.
The Aztecs, I
Is
think.
it the Aztecs? Is it?
It looks very Aztecish, yeah.
I know they go to
Is all this
Or Mayan, or
spoilery to main plots?
No, not really.
It's just
Because it starts out pretty clear that
settings.
there
It's
are
basically
3 different settings.
Okay.
Hugh
Gotcha.
Jackman being the lead in each setting.
Yeah.
Right.
How old is this movie?
2006.
Yeah, 6.
2006. At this
I
point,
graduated.
spoilers are acceptable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But
14 years.
You've had your time.
and
you can't
honestly,
be upset.
even if you know everything that happens in the
Oh,
movie,
gosh.
it still does not ruin it because it is a beautiful movie. It's one of the most mystical,
It
mystifying
makes you,
movies you've ever seen, and you could turn the sound off. Actually, no, because the score
yes.
is honestly,
You turn the words off.
oh man, it's just a beautiful movie. It's a very sleepy movie, so I can imagine a lot of people kind of not. It's one of those magical movies that'll put you to sleep, kind of, and then you have to rewatch it the next day.
But I think the confusion of it is what would keep me in that dream state, not like really a sleep state.
Well, see,
more
they
like a
cover the dream state because the third person he plays
Mm-hmm.
is a monk who is trapped. Let's see, how do you even describe this? He's
I would
trapped
I would
inside of
say-
a bubble floating in the universe.
Floating through
with,
space.
With the fountain or with the tree of life.
He's in a spaceship, but it's
Yeah.
such a crazy design for a spaceship. It's literally a tree,
It's
and
the
him
tree of
like
life.
kind of all monked out, all zenned out with his head shaved, in a bubble floating through the universe.
And he's trying to save the tree that's dying. And the tree represents his wife. And when the tree dies, she dies, but then it becomes something else. And it's just,
Sounds beautiful.
it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting
Like,
chills just talking about
I
it.
am.
Actually.
Like, I get it.
Yeah, because she has this thing like at the beginning of the movie, she takes him out on the roof of their house, and he's like got home from a hard day's work, and she takes him out on the roof, and she's trying to just get him to let loose and live a little bit,
Just, yeah,
in
calm
her last
down and
days.
relax.
And she's like pointing at the stars. She's like, she points out the Xibalba, which is either the Mayan or it's either the Mayan or the Aztecs, like underworld. Essentially, it's where they looked to in their spirituality for like rebirth and like death, life, rebirth, basically. And so that kind of point is established at the beginning, and I think that the end of it, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to spoil the end of the movie. It's
There's
actually
so
pretty
many-
confusing
it is.
as to what
That's
happens
what's
at the end of the
wonderful about
movie.
it. I've watched it, I don't know, 9 times.
But the movie is carried by its stunning visuals, its amazing score,
the
and
storyline's
great
awesome.
acting.
Yes.
But yeah, it's one of those strange ones that
It's very difficult.
I like the
Takes some work.
rewatchability of something like that, though, because many movies, like pretty much if I buy a movie, like to me that's the ultimate. Like this is rewatchable because I'm very picky with that. Because normally I can just think back on a movie. I'm like, okay, I get it. There's so many new things I want to see, but something like this, I have seen the movie. It's been probably in the late 2000 or early 2010s, probably around there. But I don't remember a lot of it because it was so much.
it takes a little bit of work.
lot.
You got to
But
invest
I
yourself
remember
in
you
it.
mentioned the monk and the tree, and that image stands out in my head because I know
it's a
I
beautiful
remember
He's bald.
that moment. I remember it more than anything because I think in that moment was when I was my most confused,
Yes.
but my most content that I was enjoying that confusion,
Yes.
which is
It's
a
a
strange
beautiful
state to
thing.
be in. To
There
give
is
in,
definitely
to give
a
in
payoff.
to that confusion.
A lot of people at the end, I could see maybe even get a little mad because they're like, "What just happened?" But like I
Yes.
said, the themes carry through enough, and I think it makes it worth it. And there is a payoff if you kind of understand that theme.
I
of
think
the-
you
of the
have to
story.
watch it more than once to enjoy it. I think it's one of those movies where you sit down and you watch it, and no matter what, the first time you watch it, you're never going to appreciate it for
And
what
that
it
sounds
is.
like lame to some movie fans. They're like,
is.
"Well, I don't want to have to watch it twice to get it." But those kind of movies and even books
Yeah.
are so much more like
Yes.
rewarding for longer periods of time that I think than movies you can just watch one time and be done with.
Yeah, for sure.
Beautiful movie. I'll watch everything y'all suggest if y'all just watch that movie.
See?
Yeah.
That's how good
I'd love
it
to
is.
watch it again.
I
and
love
see,
that movie.
because I'm sure at this point, plus I think that's the kind of movie at different stages in your life. When you
Yes.
watch
Oh,
it, it's going to mean so much more.
It's like a cleansing.
Your
it's
mind
like a
can be in
cleansing.
so many
Yeah.
different states.
Is it too late to suggest something?
No.
It's never too late.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
love
Mind.
that. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know. I just
love
wanted to
that
make
movie.
sure.
Great
That's
movie.
another one of those that's that same kind of situation. It hits you at different feelings
Yes.
at different points in your life when you
Absolutely.
watch it. I can remember watching that movie and laughing at some points. I can remember watching that movie and absolutely not being able to breathe from crying.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The scene where he's in the house and he's talking and he can hear her, but she's gone and it's flooding. Dude,
That's
my
a
God.
wreck.
It's
Good movie,
it's a
though.
wreck.
Ooh, that just I feel that.
I
that
just
weight
watched
on my
that
chest.
movie like a week ago, like 10
It's a
days
great
ago,
movie.
probably. No
And
joke.
honestly, like, yeah, if
you
for fans
okay?
of movies like that,
Okay.
would totally love The Fountain, I think.
Yes.
But The Fountain has more of like some kind of spiritual aspects
Oh,
to it
absolutely, yeah.
as well.
but
And
it
I
doesn't.
accept that.
But it doesn't throw it in your face. It
No.
lets you.
It's not a preachy.
experience-
It's
No,
not
no.
preachy at all.
Not at
no,
all.
but
That's
it's
another-
got a spiritual element to it.
Yeah.
But that's another successful thing that a lot of other things that try to introduce this spiritual aspect, it's more of a preachy thing.
Oh, yeah,
but
well,
this is
that's propaganda.
This is
That's not
something
fiction.
you experience, and okay, how did it make you feel? Like you have your own experience with it.
Absolutely.
Nice. But everyone shares that spiritual kind of moment
Yeah.
with the
and,
film. so that's-
and it's probably different for different people.
yeah.
Watch The Fountain, everybody.
Everyone.
And have you a good cry.
Now I'm gonna end up like talking about farts and stuff. Like that's
Perfect.
Like,
we need
there's
to
this-
do that.
We
there's
need a
this
little change of pace here.
epic,
I'm starting to about to
amazing-
cry.
We could do that.
Yeah. Now
I
I'm
can't.
sensitive.
I do want to talk about a problem I've had trying to cope with.
Oh no.
And that's I've talked a little bit about it in the past with the gaming stuff with like GameStop, but like going digital, I'm struggling with either the idea of giving into that or just mixing in with it with owning physical media. Like
I thought you were talking about like currency about to go all digital.
cryptocurrency. No, I don't have the. There's
Bitcoin.
no way.
Invest.
You can't just.
No.
Well,
Don't.
Bitcoin's
Don't-
weird, man.
don't invest.
Bitcoin's weird. It's really weird, and it's cool, but it's weird. No, I mean like a dream of mine for a tiny home I want to have one day is a good portion of that tiny home is a library. Like having my own physical library. It's something that I don't want to give up that idea, but at the same time, that's a lot of things taking up a lot of space. And the older I get, the more I'm like, man, I've got so much stuff, and I keep buying stuff because I keep buying books because I want to make this library a reality. And the older I get, the more it becomes a reality. But I don't know, like with games, now I'm to the point now I do not want to own a physical copy of a video game. I just don't want to. I want them all digital. I want them all files. I want to be able to access them at any time without the fear of a scratched CD or something like that. All my audio except for vinyl. Vinyl's another thing like books for me. I started that collection, and now it's that nerd thing that takes over with a collection. Like I've got to have more of this. I've got to have a wall filled with these things, even though the more you get, the less you experience each of them. Like the more stuff I acquire, the fewer amount of time I have with those things.
Like butter over too much toast.
Oh my God. Bilbo quote.
Okay.
What do they call people that do that at museums?
Huh?
There's a word.
Oh, curator.
Curator. You're
Yeah.
like
Oh.
a curator
Yeah.
for like nerd stuff.
Hey, you go, Richard. I was right.
He said the word museum, and you both went.
I had no idea.
they buy the fossils?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, dinosaurs?
That where they buy the fossils.
Dino.
But yeah, it's almost like I am curating this collection of things that maybe when I am maybe 10 years from now, some of this stuff that I have, I no longer really enjoy it that much, but it's this little like physical piece of me, of my history. So I do have some of that.
Just become
There.
president. You get your own library.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
You didn't think about that, did you?
No, I didn't even think about that.
4
they'll
years
give
from
them
now,
big-
you could do it.
They'll build you
Yeah.
your own library.
That'd be great.
If we
Be
started
a lot of fun.
campaigning right now, one of us could do it.
But we could get there. Yeah. But it's either all four of us or no one. So
How do we split that up?
We'll figure it out. We're the ones running. We can make all the
Also,
rules.
we're
One
changing the
president,
theme
3
song.
VPs.
We're changing the theme song from "Hail to the Chief" to something different.
Proud to be an American.
by Lee Greenwood.
No,
At least
Hollywood
I
Hogan's.
know I'm free.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, gotta take a stand and don't have to hide. That'd be great for the president to come out to. It'd be
The
like
reason this is
Idiocracy.
relevant is because you can't get rid of some things. Video games, I agree with.
Yeah.
Go digital.
Oh, but I could
Go-
get rid of every book
No,
that I own
don't.
and have it digital.
Don't.
It'd be easy.
Don't, though.
All the cover
Books.
art's there.
Books, I think you have to keep. That's the one
Why?
thing I will never get rid of. I'll never get rid of buying books.
And it
That's
just in history itself, it is
Yeah.
repeated over and over that the destruction of a mass amount of
Yeah.
books leads to the loss of knowledge.
You,
So
Because
you need to keep
well,
books.
if you start relying on
keep your
digital
books.
stuff, like
They could flip the
they
switch
could
at any
change
time.
anything at any moment. And
I'm not saying everyone get rid of them and
Right.
move to digital. I'm saying I have the capability and I have the technology to do that.
right,
But it just doesn't
don't-
look as nice.
yeah.
It's intangible. You can't touch it. You can't sniff it.
No, but I could also go anywhere and have all of my. If I love my library, I can have
Right.
it anywhere with me, anywhere.
You have
I can
nephew.
I can pull a book off of my digital shelf, sitting at any coffee shop in any part of the states. And if they're at home, I pick one and I take that one.
You could have both.
I'd
Why
like
not
to-
just do both?
I do.
I think
I
you
do,
should.
There you
and
go.
that's another thing that I can't tell if that's me slowly giving in to the digital change, or
Well, there's nothing you can do about the digital change.
oh no,
You gonna stop it?
I could avoid it. I could not
could
have any
avoid
of them digital.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's my I didn't know what you guys kind of felt about that.
Books, I would never get rid of. That's the one thing I disagree with for sure. Video games, 100% behind.
Yeah.
Go digital. No one cares.
Oh, you say disagree. I'm not saying I want to go digital.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm fighting with the idea
I'm telling
of
you don't.
both.
I'm
Okay,
telling you don't.
Gotcha.
I can
Forget
agree
the
with
digital.
I can agree with the digital. Now, do I agree with going all analog with your books? No, because your tiny house also needs to have a shed, and that shed is where your library is.
No, there'll be a secret room in the upstairs loft that would be my study and I've already got it.
Not a secret anymore.
I've already got a blueprint of it.
Bum,
You don't know how to get in there.
How would you fit
gonna
a
beep it
secret
out.
room into a tiny house?
I'll show you.
Is
I'll
this
show you.
magic?
If you got two container homes and you place them like two levels but an L shape, the top container is half bedroom, half study. Library.
Repeat.
He's not happy with you. I could see it.
Comics.
Container rooms could work that way. We saw that at the beach.
Yeah. Oh,
those
yeah.
beach houses, seeing them in construction, knowing
They're
that
awesome.
knowing that those beach houses, a majority down there, are actually just container homes.
Yeah,
That's really cool to see.
it is. What are you doing? You look like you're just helping your back and your butt.
Oh, I had to clear my throat and I got away from the
Okay.
microphone, and also I'm sitting on the sinky stool.
Okay.
There's everybody else has got support, but mine keeps on sinking.
According to you, 7 times today, you've had sinky stool for a while.
This is true.
no stinky.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Comics is one thing I have started to make the most change to digital, because
That DC Universe app blew my mind
Man,
for comics, because that was it was all there, and
Yeah.
you could sit on the couch, click through panel to panel the same way you would read it, and that's like the only good thing about the DC app.
yeah,
The user
anymore,
interface was
yeah.
awful.
Yeah, sir.
You guys need to get out of the city. That's your problem. Come out to the country.
We
Okay,
have.
so let's say I'm in the country. Let's
you're sitting
say
around a
let's
fire.
say it takes me 2 hours to get to a decent bookstore.
Yeah. You don't
So
like
why would I not just
2-hour
get them digital
drives?
immediately? I love
Yes,
2 hour
there
drive.
you
I'm
go.
saying
You're
for the
making
normal
a
probably for the average person doesn't want to drive 2
I
hours,
just feel
4
like-
hours
I
to
feel
all
like
together to go buy a book.
You're losing the experience going digital. You're missing out on a lot.
How?
Well, who are you supporting? What local business if you go digital? McKay
Yeah.
Books?
Mhm.
You can't.
No, you're
that's what I'm-
supporting
That's what I'm
the
saying though. Like
author.
The right, but
And
people sell books for that author. So
authors-
like you do both.
authors will make more money.
But it cuts
digitally.
out the businesses that sell it, and some people just realize. And I'm just
Oh, yeah.
a big supporter of like
Yeah.
I buy used books from used bookstores.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm not
I
disagreeing.
mean, I'm
with
just
you.
saying like
Yeah.
that's why I will never go digital because like not only do I enjoy the physical copies, enjoy the experience of going to get it, having it, and reading it.
I completely agree.
But I am also supporting somebody else while doing it.
So 1/4 of the Grapevine platform is to support small businesses.
Yes.
Okay, that's what marking on the list for the campaign.
No,
campaign
I
list.
agree with you because there is this also, like, I'll pick I'll have an author like Murakami that I read the Wind Up Bird Chronicles of theirs. Absolutely loved it. It's kind of a dream state kind of book. It's crazy how many pages that you can read and you kind of snap out of it eventually of how you've just been falling into the words of that book. And after I read that, I was like, okay, now I want every single thing this person's made because that's the way my obsessive brain goes. I can't just enjoy one. I have to have all of them. But it's like this cool treasure hunt to get these books with the same like style cover on the front of all of them, so where they match on the spines and all that. Like it adds a treasure hunt to me because I can go to places like McKay or Half Price Books or just little rinky-dink like used bookstores, which are amazing.
Yeah.
Those are amazing. They're a little overwhelming. You go into one of those and it's just floor to ceiling.
Unorganized, just
Yeah,
love it.
but there's something peaceful about it too.
Smell of old books.
Yeah, it's great.
Wish they had a candle of that.
They do. They surely do.
I mean, they've got one that smell like White Castle burgers.
Yeah.
If there is a candle after this show that smells like a book, we're suing you. Continue.
Oh no.
Unless you've never heard of us and we're just finding out about this.
Yeah.
We can't. We'll have to take you off the campaign.
We'll talk to
At
our
this point.
lawyers.
We
You
have
jumped the
those?
gun.
Yeah.
I know a lawyer.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just and I'm sure you can see my struggle, like as to why. But I feel like I have to choose. I don't. But I just feel like if I go all in, it will eventually feel better. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I fear it. I
Go
fear
all
I
in on
fear
the
the
games.
change. I fear the change.
I don't know.
Well, then we're hurting like small used video game stores.
Small businesses need to get with the program and start selling books online and digital books.
Yeah, for
More.
sure.
like, yeah, you can buy up codes. It's like, here, buy this code. Scan this thing. Yeah, here you go. And your book.
I hope it goes just like that, the transaction. Just like that.
That's how it would be with me because I don't know jack crap about books or art. Both things.
Really?
Completely clueless.
No.
Don't know it.
Well, fiction is art, and you know a lot about fiction.
I
Music
do-
is art.
That is a fine art.
that's
You are
true.
correct.
You do know that.
Come on,
But
don't sell yourself short.
Food is art.
I'm connected to the idea
True.
of books just because my grandmother, when she had all of her facilities, like her mental facilities, she had a library at her house where it was also the living room. They had the den where everybody would sit, and they had the living room where everybody would gather. But most of the time, if she was in there, she was reading a book, and she had built-in shelves to the walls everywhere in there where she could just put books, and books, and books. And it was always a revolving cast of books that you'd find on her shelves. It's so crazy how many books that lady owned.
It's with organization, it's definitely one of the better things for someone to collect.
And it's
'Cause, I mean,
beautiful.
honestly, it
looks
adds
so good.
insulation to your house too. Like if you've got an entire wall of books,
That's a business in Cookville.
yeah, wall
Entire-
of books, yeah,
Really?
walls of books, yeah.
Walls O books.
Where
I'm
would
not
you
mistaken.
find them at?
Is it? No, I think it's of.
Maybe.
North Jefferson Avenue.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's they're really nice there too.
Tell them I'm coming.
Okay, I'll tell everyone else.
coming for you.
No. And everybody else is going to be coming for us on Twitter.
I held it in for as long as I could.
I'm just going to wait.
You asked for it.
I don't want...
I should have never taught you the snap.
I always think it helps. I just
It doesn't, and I'm sorry that I'm a child.
Come find us on Twitter at Nerd Grapevine. Do the same thing on Instagram. We post little snippets of each episode that are really funny, kind of like, oh, wonder what they're talking about moments. Also, on Spotify and iTunes, I believe both, go listen to Nightmare Town. It's one word. And Haunter, I Barely Know Her. It's spooky season. And y'all need to go listen to some spooky casts because ours isn't very spooky. This happened like almost on Halloween, and we didn't get spooky at all. So if we're not feeling that craven, go listen to them. School bus? Oh, it was for me.
See,
that's a personal thing though.
They're inside you right now.
I know. I could feel them. Rooster. No. Yeah, that's all the things. That's all the things I'm supposed to say, right? Is that it? Is that all the things?
Did you get our Hotmail?
What about our MSN?
No. Marcus, when life gives you grapes,
Trade them for a couple of plums.
That was plum awesome. Plums are just like big fat grapes, and prunes are like just big fat raisins.
And raisins are grapes.
we did it! We went all the way around!
Oh my gosh.
Good work.